This week's block is Aunt Addie's album, and it is a Sawtooth Star with a little twist on the points. Hello, my quilty friends. It's Stacy of Stacy Create Stuff, and we are back for week 7 of Stars in My Garden Quilt-along. If you are new here, welcome. This is part of my Quilt-along series called Stars in My Garden. There is a free download that you can get from my website, and there are kits available from my favorite quilt shop, Vintage Pink and Green. Links to all those things are in the description below. This week's block, it's a star block, and, well, it has a little interest in the points there. So it's your basic Sawtooth Star, but we're going to do something interesting with the points. Now, don't panic. I promise it's going to be easy, and it actually combines 2 techniques that we've done before. Flying geese, of course, and half square triangles. You will be making a total of 4 of these blocks that we will add to our ever-growing quilt. So, let's get to it. This week we are working on block number 7, and this is a star block, all in pinks and some white. We have light pink 2.5-inch squares. We have white and dark pink 3-inch squares. We have some medium pink 4.5-inch squares that'll be in the center, and we have some light pink rectangles that will be for the edges. The first thing that you'll need to do is to take your 3-inch white and dark pink, and you are going to pair those together and make half square triangles. So we've been making half square triangles many times during this process in the previous 6 blocks. Here is a 30-second recap on how to make half square triangle units. You draw 2 lines 1/4 of an inch away from the center diagonal. You sew on those 2 lines. You cut them apart on that center diagonal, press them open, and then you trim. I have an entire video dedicated to how to make half square triangles and flying geese units. Link is in the description below. All right, once you have a stack of half square units, you are going to use these and make flying geese. And that is the way that you make that special little teeny tiny triangles that happen in the corner. So it might take a little bit playing around with. I'm going to go ahead and place. This definitely has a right side because the other side has the seam showing. And I am going to sew actually on the diagonal, not on either side, just right on that diagonal that goes from corner to corner. And when I pull that back, then I will get the first part of my flying geese. And then I'm going to take the next one, and again, going from corner to corner on the diagonal, making sure that it's right sides together. It doesn't really matter for the rectangular piece because it's batik. Both sides are okay. And then when I pull that back, I will get this. You want to make sure that the white parts of that half square triangle unit are near the top point of your flying geese unit. So that's what it will look like. All right, let's go make those so we can lay out this block. All right, let's lay out block 7. We start with our 4.5-inch square in the center. That's in our medium pink. And then we're going to have our star points. So it's a little confusing to figure out what's the point here because we've got the flying geese. So the trick is that the flying geese unit, this larger triangle, points inward. So we'll put all of those right in that way. Now the star is starting to show up a little better. And then in the corners, we have our 2.5-inch light pink squares. This goes together like all of our star blocks. It is basically a 9 patch. There are 3 rows, our top row, our middle row, and our bottom row. And each of the rows is made up of 3 pieces. So we'll sew those 3 pieces together for each row, and then the rows together to make our final block. And here is the finished block. It is so cute. I really like it. I can picture an entire quilt with this block, maybe some sashing. Well, that's a project for another day. So again, you need to make a total of 4 of these, and we will add those to our quilt. I hope the instructions today are giving you confidence to give this block a try. Even if you're not doing the quilt-along, you could make this block. It's a lot of fun. I found it to be way more enjoyable than I thought when I originally designed the quilt. And a little sad there's only 4 of these in the quilt, but that's okay. Maybe there'll be a future quilt with more. I'll be back next week. And if you're looking for another quilt tutorial in the meantime, check out this one.